Hi. Hi, Nicole Soul. Hi, Dante. Hello. Hi, Casey. Hi, Kimberly Davis. Well, all right, little sister. All right. So today I'm going to, okay. Get ready for Hawaii, y'all. All right. So today I'm going to finish. Damon, Daddy, come here. So today I'm going to finish the video. And I'm going to tell y'all why I had not finished the video yet. So a lot of church people, a lot of church people were Alifia to you too. So a lot of church people were not happy with my video. Let me first say that. And they don't mind telling you when they're not happy about something. They don't mind telling you. They don't mind expressing themselves. And when you done something to, baby, can you turn the light on right here? When you necessarily did something to piss them off, they don't mind sharing that information with you, so you know that they're pissed off at you or whatever, you know. I got called a devil worshiper, and I don't even believe in the devil. So they was like, you're judging church people. I'm just telling y'all about, I made a video about my experiences. I had a pastor to reach out to me as well. Long ass email. I guess he was trying to teach me a sermon or something. Bro, fuck you. Like, for real. Why don't you handle your parishioners? Don't worry about me like that. Because I'm never going to fucking come to your church. Anyway. So, it was very interesting, to say the least, about people expressing how they felt about my first video. Very interesting. Very, very interesting. Very interesting. What I said in my video, I'm just talking about my experience and what it meant for me, not necessarily what it means for you. Because that's your experience, your interpretation, your everything. So I think that most church people or pastors and stuff like that, I think that they are good speakers, but they don't listen worth the fuck. And I think that they just want to hear themselves talk, not necessarily anything that's going to help you out. It's about that. It's kind of like self-serving in a way. So that was interesting, to say the least. But that's still not gonna make me not make my video. And they told me that they were gonna report it. Well, if you're going to report it, then you should report every fucking thing. Because I mean, I'm pretty sure your parishioners and your churchgoers are doing more fucked up stuff than what I'm talking about. And I'm just talking about my fucking experience. And my experience actually don't really have anything to do with you, because I don't even fucking know you. So he was like, well, somebody from my church was watching your videos for self-esteem, and then you bring this. You know what? If you watching my videos, bitch, you ain't watching my videos for no self-esteem. You watching my videos because you're gonna do some spell work too. Stop playing. Chad. Self-esteem, huh? That's why you watching it. Nah, bitch, you watching that shit so you can figure out if you want to do a spell or not on somebody. That's why you watching my shit. So anyway, because I do a lot of work for Christians. I'm not against the Christian. I do a lot of work for Christians. And they pay better than some of y'all spiritual awoke folks. So I'm never going to talk about church people because church people pay me. Oh yes. Oh yes. What does God say for me? Oh yes. I want to know if he's going to be my man. Can you tell me that? Because God told me that he was my husband. God told me he was my husband. And I need to make sure that he's my husband. So I know that God put it in you to tell me that he was my husband. And if he ain't my husband, what can we do to manifest him to be so? Because I ain't never been in love with nobody like I've been in love with him. Get out of there. Get Shango. This goddamn cat. My spray bottle in the bathroom. So anyway, greetings. So last time, I'm not quite sure where I'm giving y'all teenage realness. Thanks. I'll be 40 Thursday. So okay, child. So anyway, let's see. What did I think I talked about lack of consciousness, awareness, and the general attitude of people that go to church, in my experience, is that they lacked conscious awareness. Oh, thank you, darling. So I think that is I think that's where I left off at. Because I was talking about them eating and stuff like that and things of that nature. Babe, can you make me some coffee? My head trying to hurt. And then I think we also talked about realizing that you can connect with God on your own. The longer you continue to make your world smaller by only reading, I said that, right? Christian books and listening to Christian radio and only watching Christian television and only associating with Christian people, the more they will make you feel guilty for deciding to think for yourself on bigger issues. I think I talked about that as well. That I realized that I can connect with God on my own. Thank you, guys. I can connect with God on my own. When I first disconnected from church, I would read the Bible at home, and pray by myself. Remember? We talked about that. We also talked about the tithing as well. Thank you. And then we also talked about dependency. As with any institution that seeks to control your mind, because the church does. And ultimately your life, there are benefits and privileges offered. I think we talked about that. They're not mandatory, but if accepted, they do come with a price. Church creates an environment where you become dependent on others in order to get closer to God. I said that. Thank you. With government, there are benefits of your driver's license, like using public roads and having a birth certificate. And in fact, what I said was a birth certificate allows you to do business in public. It's our vehicle to operate as publicly bonded corporation. Church gives you benefits and privileges. You get to have members of a church that pray for you. That's a benefit, right? Perhaps they can do fundraisers if you don't have enough money to pay your medical bills, but that's bullshit too, because they make enough money. They don't have to do nothing like that. The problem is that if you're a regular member, you also can receive judgment from others. And oftentimes you get roped into commitments that you don't even have time for. but you feel guilty if you don't participate. So there's always a give and take. So you guys have to be really cognizant on what you put your energy into. You know, they say that no man's an island, but personally, I'd rather take my chances by not attending church. I'm not going to change my statement for that. I don't give a fuck how nobody feel about it. I'm talking about me. That's the problem now. We don't know how to focus on ourselves. We tentatively think that we have to fit the mold. And that's what church teaches you, to fit a mold. I don't want to fit anybody's mold. I just want to be me. I don't want to have a I'm this or I'm that. I'm just a magical celestial being, and I'm just into manifesting, and I'm into intentions, and I do spell work for people who need help. I like being like that. I like saying that. I like living that. I have a passion for helping people, and I want you to feel encouraged and empowered to live your best life. And if you can learn something from what I'm telling you, then that's great. Research, study, read yourself. Show yourself approved on what is the things that you're doing. You know what I'm saying? Church lacks a personal connection. It really does. You have a church that you have 100, 200 members. You don't know them like that. You're not in their everyday life like that. And be honest, you don't even really care. I also talked about not learning anything new or challenging. Most people go to church and they leave the same way they came in. Or while they're at church, they put their burdens down. They laid their burden. I'm gonna lay my burdens down. How song? Jamie don't know. He ain't go to church. I forgot. He don't know. He ain't go to church. So that's what happens. While they're there, they feel empowered. Thank you, baby. Thank you for everybody telling me happy birthday. They feel empowered and they can take on the world. And as soon as they leave, they haven't given them anything to set as a foundation so that it can help them with their life. They haven't given them that. Oh, thank you, Christopher. They haven't given them that. They haven't given them the foundation how to live. I want to encourage you and strengthen you where you can be able to hold your own. We're so used to everybody wanting or needing or feeling like everybody have to hold our hand for us to exist. And that's not what that is. I will never forget. When I first became public. Thank you, Christopher. I appreciate. Thank you, Rainbow of Love. When I first became public and open with my belief system, then like everybody like were gravitating to me because I was saying something different that maybe they've been feeling and they just didn't say it, but I was saying it, right? And so then they wanted to cling hold to me. Hey, Kansas. They wanted to cling hold to me, and they wanted me to be their savior or the one that, and I'm not like that. Thank you. I'm an Aries, Queen Bee. Thank you. Many blessings to you. I appreciate that. Like they wanted me to like be like they next all in all. And I'm not a leader like that. I'm just still a human being. And I'm fully flawed too. I'm still a human being. I still make mistakes too. I'm not perfect. You know what I'm saying? So, thank you. I mean, I openly practice witchcraft. And most people that follow me, Christian or not, you guys either practice or want to practice too. So, like, don't ever put anybody on that pedestal, not even me, because I don't require that. You know what I'm saying? I just want you to be your authentic self or figure out whatever it is that you need to do to be that. That's all I care about. You know, that's what's important to me. That you're taking control of your life and doing what you need to do for you. You know what I'm saying? But what stops a lot of people is fear. From my experience, thank you, Kansas. Thank you, darling. I appreciate you. Thank you, baby. From my experience, Christians are very scared people. And let me tell you why. And I realize I'm making a really huge blanket statement, But there, in my experience, is the truth. Other people are scared as well, but if there is a group of people who should be less scared, I would imagine it would be Christians, right? Because you pray to Jesus, you in Jesus' name, I'm protected, and like. But not only do I see fear in people in the church, but I notice it being a part of weekly sermons. Stop me when I'm wrong. Thank you, Daddy. The people are afraid of what people would think about them. They're afraid of even God himself. They're afraid of going to hell. They're afraid that if they don't save enough money from their jobs, God will not take care of them. They're afraid of dying. They're afraid of living. They're afraid of difficult situations, hence always praying about the same thing to God and to Jesus over and over and over again for Jesus and God to get them out of it. But they're not doing anything themselves. They're just being dependent. Thank you, Jamie. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. Many blessings to you. Like, they're afraid. They're always afraid of something. They're always afraid of something. They're afraid that any difficult situation, that if God don't get them out of it, and this and that, and if God, and I'm going through, and I'm suffering for the Lord, and I'm suffering, and those who suffer, man, fuck that. They're even afraid that they might not be part of the rapture. And even though the concept of the rapture is highly debatable in certain Christian circles, they are afraid of that too. They waiting for the rapture, but they don't believe in aliens. Ain't that something? Fear is rampant in the church. It's rampant fear. Fear also seems to be a major part of the weekly sermons. Pastors are preaching fear and making church members afraid of God and afraid of the church. That's not me saying it. That's a fucking fact. If you don't tithe, you shouldn't expect anything. Well, damn. I remember I was going to church and the pastor was a female prophet. Her name was Prophet Lisa. Okay. And so she was really big on tithes and offerings. And what she used to have me doing is, once they collected the tithes and offerings, I would go in the back, and she would leave all the little brown envelopes everywhere. And she would have me to lay on it and pray. She would have me to lay on it, lay down on it. You know what she told me? That there's a spirit of money on you. Yes, these are zodiac signs of me and my children. So this is. Oh, my tattoos. That's it's a rose with the skull inside of it and a snake wrapped around it. And then that's me. And then this is the third eye. But since I'm extra, I have to have lashes, y'all. Like me. My husband has this too, but he don't have lashes on his. See? Yeah. You're crazy. And then I have these. Oh shit. So, anywho. So, what was I telling? Okay, so Prophet Lisa. So she would have me laying on top of she would have me laying on top of like the tithes and offerings and praying over them. But what I was doing was I was giving my energy to the money, and it was helping to grow her church. And so she knew what I was. She knew the energy that I had represented, and she knew the gifts that I had. So of course she wants me a part of her money ministry because of who I was. And I wasn't even fully sure of who I was, but she knew it. Trying to be slick, like you said. So, right. So she was draining me and she was webbing me in this church thing. So one day there was a older lady in the church. Um, I'm gonna call her Miss Emma. So Miss Emma, they had a nonprofit in the back of the church where people donated clothes and stuff. And if you needed clothes and things like that, Miss Emma kind of kept up with all the inventory and stuff like that. Miss Emma also was on a fixed income. So we talking about tithing, right? So Miss Emma like had some bills to come up. And so I helped Miss Emma financially with some of her bills. And so she was like, well, I got to say this $75 aside because I have to give her 10% of my Social Security check. And I was like, isn't your Social Security check money that you've already made? And after you reach a certain age, the government like gives you like that or whatever, right? But if this is based off of money that you've already made and you've been in church your whole life, well, you've already tithed on that money. Right around. Mm-hmm. Right around. I mean, we having a conversation now. So in theory, I'm thinking, why are you tithing off of money that you've already made, that you've already tithed on? That Social Security check is for you, right? Okay. So this is what I'm telling Miss Emma. So that next Sunday, Miss Emma didn't give an offering. That Miss Emma didn't give an offering. So Prophet Lisa confronts Miss Emma. And so Miss Emma, not really thinking, Miss Emma tells Prophet Lisa what I said. So then Prophet Lisa calls me to the office after service, and she says it right over the pulpit. I need to talk to you. And I was like, oh, okay. Not thinking that I said anything that was wrong or anything like that. I thought that I'm just making a statement, right, Darius? I thought I was making a statement. I wasn't thinking about it in that kind of way. I was just talking. I was just expressing something to think about. Food for thought. So she closes the door. Thank you. I love you too. She closes the door and she goes to tell me, I don't appreciate you telling my church members that they don't have to pay their tithes because everybody that come here have to pay their tithes, including you. And I'm thinking in my head, bitch, the only person that I talked to, Miss Emma, and what I told her was the fucking truth. So I say to her, Prophet Lisa, it's her Social Security. Oh, can you make me something? No, I don't want that. Not mixing with no coffee. Oh shit. Not mixed. So I was like, thank you, Daddy. You was gonna give me that to wipe it up. You so sweet. So I was like, so you mean to tell me that this is money that she's already worked for? You mean to tell me that she's on a fixed income? She couldn't even pay her phone bill. And she said, it doesn't have anything to do with you. And I'm standing up thinking, should I cuss this black ass bitch out? Or should I hold my peace? So I said, you know what, woman of God, you sure right. And because I believe in what you're saying, don't ask me to pray over money or anything else like that for you again. Because if you're talking about something like that and you're talking about value and things like that and what you should be doing, you should be paying me for what I'm doing for you, because that's considered like a job though, right?
As I slowly sips my cherry lime sparkling water.
And she was like, what? No, baby, since we talking about shit like that, right? Then you don't need me praying over your money, because that's something that you could do yourself. Since since I don't need to be talking about the church members, I definitely don't need to be praying over them too. I don't need to be praying over their money. So I stopped. So she was like, see how you making this about you? Girl, I'm trying not to cuss you out, how like, listen, I have always been this way. I am a Taurus, May 2nd, baby, through and through. I am the epitome of what a Taurus is. And one thing I don't like is being made, like, there's two things I don't like. Don't fucking lie to me and don't fucking lie on me. Like, don't make up no bullshit. Don't come to me with no bullshit like that. I don't even like people coming to me talking about other people. Like, I don't like stuff like that. Because, bitch, if you a carry a bone, if you a bring a bone, you a carry one too. So I said, I tell you what, I don't want to be a part of none of this. I'm going to come to church. That's all I'm going to do. Tell Miss Emma, never mind. Do I have permission to tell her? Don't tell me nothing else. Because this lady older than you, and you trying to run her too? And she was like, wait a minute, I think you taking this the wrong way. How the fuck am I taking it the wrong way? Bitch, you just sit up and told me I'm not supposed to be telling your church members nothing like I'm telling her something wrong. All I told her was, don't be worried about paying tithes on money. Technically, she's already been paid like tithes on. But I'm wrong, girl. Fuck you. Fuck this motherfucking funk ass church. Fuck you, Prophet Lisa. Bitch, but I ain't really go there yet. So I stopped doing all of it. I was like, I come to church. She'll try to hold conversations with me. So then she will make her sermons about me not wanting to fuck with her no more. Like, bitch, what? And then she would try to instill fear in me, not really knowing that I'm really teeter-tottering, bitch, as far as doing witchcraft, motherfucker, and going to church, and not really knowing that there was a difference and I could still do that or whatever the case may be. So I'm really teeter-tottering on that, and bitch, you pushing me. You pushing me. You know what I'm saying? And now you're making sermons and shit like about me, about when people stray away from the church and stray away from leadership. Bitch, you talking about me. Like I said, fear. I find it to be a very fearful group of people who pray, Pray, and pray, Pre, on people like crazy for God to deliver them from pain rather than giving them strength and character to get through it. That's how I feel about that. Another thing why it really like why I stopped really fucking around with churches, they mix theology with world events. Even when I was in high school and I attended Bible studies, one of the biggest things that would perturb me was that the preacher would end up talking about current events or worse yet, politics. As we've been lied to in the media, the news isn't accurately and without bias reporting on events. The news isn't neutral. That's why you see so many Christians watching Fox News while atheists tend to prefer CNN. Here's an example of something that would drive me crazy. So a preacher would use what they've been told about Sandy Hook as a story to fluff up their sermon. The preacher's just using that story to psychologically create a rapport with the listeners in order to drive home a deeper point. But the fact that the preacher didn't bother to do any fucking research about a story like that makes me really unsure about whether or not I should listen to him or her about any subject matter as well. Just my theory, just my thoughts. We just talking about me. If he didn't bother to look any deeper into any alleged story that he's sharing, what makes me think that he's really bothered to do the research into the Bible? It's also disturbing the amount of times I would hear a preacher talk about politics. I just shake my head on it because when pastors leave their area of expertise, I get nervous. Because you're not a politician, motherfucker. You a preacher. The other P word. Pastors have no business talking about politics, especially when most of them have no clue how things really work. The way I look at it is, if they're unfamiliar with topics like maritime and contract law and common law and private versus public jurisdictions or the 70 debt cycles, then they have no business talking about whether or not we should vote Democrat or Republican. They are just as misinformed and grossly uneducated. Yeah, I said it. Because really and truly, all you need is about 40, 50 bucks. And anybody can be a fucking pastor or preacher. Let's be clear. Everybody don't go to seminary school. All right. There are enough problems, even if you just stick with the religious topics. Please don't bite off more than you can chew. Stay in your lane, sis. Stay in your lane. Stay in your lane, brother. Stay in your lane. Because I stay in mine. See how I'm like right here? Solomon. Well, I'm fat, so right there. Just stay. The other thing that bothered me is money. You and I are both familiar with faith healers where preachers would tell people that if the church members would simply donate more money, God will heal them for any particular disease. This is absolutely disgusting to me, and it makes no sense. If you think about it, these preachers are lying in the name of God. To me, God ain't about that. Because my God ain't short of cash. My God ain't short of blessings. My God really is always on time. My God, I don't have to have shit and I can call him up. Because I just ask him for what I want. Petition for what I want. Manifest what I want. That's how my God is. See, the problem is people put too much emphasis on what other people think about God instead of what they think about the God in them. I see so many times pastors driving very fancy cars and they have really nice houses, and it's obviously they're doing very well. And their church is bringing in buku money every week, but they have no proof that God really exists in that church or in their lives. All they know that the business of church is doing good. If God was all about the money, technically his son wouldn't have had to pay the ultimate price. This is the second part to why people walk away from church. I'm just saying, y'all, we got to learn how to be thinkers instead of followers. But yet and still, they say that we are brainwashed, that we are. Well, no, we're not brainwashed. We're not, y'all are brainwashed. We're not brainwashed because I can still read the same Bible that you read, but I am God. You are God. We are made in his image. We're given the same dominion. I am God. You are God. I tell people all the time in my group, Infinite Energy, I say to them, you're the God in your home, meaning you're the example. You're the example. You're the God in your home. You want to talk about your whole house and the energy being off. What are you doing to create that repertoire of peace in your home? Maybe some people do need to be removed. You're the God. That means you're the decision maker. You are the decision maker in your life. Nobody has more authority over you than you. We give our authority away to people that don't even give a fuck about us like that. It don't make any sense for me for some rich guy standing in the pulpit browbeating his poor listeners to give him more money. If I'm ever going to tithe, I'd rather give it to the person that I know that's in need. I don't need a third-party institution to facilitate my transactions so they could be a part of it for expanding their building fund. Let me say this one more time. I don't need a third-party institution to facilitate my transactions. Yes, there was a read, a Taurus read. I can directly help somebody in need without intervention, which always feels good to me. Okay. The next thing is, and the last thing I think is thank you, darling. I value my time. You can get back cars, houses, apartments, jobs. You can get back anything that you lost, clothes, shoes, niggas, females. You can get back all of those things. But one thing that you can never get back is your time. It's the only thing you can't buy back, because if that was true, the richest people would be the oldest living people of us all, and they're not. I value my time. The older I get, the more my time is precious to me. I turned 40. My time is precious to me. It can be challenging running a business and doing everything we're doing with making sure that you have to take care of yourself both physically and spiritually. There's not a lot of time left over to ascend a service that's not adding anything to my life. I don't like spending time with things, people, going places that's not going to add value to my life. 100 people can invite me to everything, but I'm going to break down, what do I benefit for attending this? I value my time. Say it with me. I value my time. I value my time. I don't see motivated people there who have stopped judging people. I don't see people there that have a strong inner spiritual practice. I don't see people there who let their own spiritual walk bleed into every area of their own lives. I see people filled with fear. I see people filled with judgment. And it usually starts at the pulpit. I don't see any value in spending my time at a place that further facilitates fear, lack of spiritual growth, dependency, and judgment. I don't see any value in spending time in a place that doesn't know my personal growth. They can't even gauge it. They can't tell me where I started from, how I've learned, and how I've grown, and where I've become. They can't tell me that. I don't see any value in spending time in a place that I have to dress a certain type of way to be there and to be accepted there. I value my time. I value my time. I don't see a value in spending time in a place where I cannot come as I am. No, I have to come as how I think that you want me to be. And if I don't fit that mold, then we have a problem. And now you're going to talk about me in the pulpit. I don't see any value in coming in a place where I can remember at 16 years old, I was singing in a community choir, and I was singing because I love the Lord, and I was trying to be a part of this process and be a part of this ministry. And the preacher told me that I was so fine that he would flip my skirt up over my head and fuck me until my ears ring. 16, a pastor told me that. I don't see any value in that, or a value in a pastor that told me, "You got any pussy pics in your phone?" I don't see any time in spending time in a facility or a place where a pastor told me, "I bet your pussy just as sweet as your spirit." I was 17 when the pastor said that to me. He said, "I know you got a sweet pussy because your spirit is sweet." I don't see spending or see any value in spending time at a place where my sister went to the pastor for leadership and they wound up fucking and dating, and then he dumped her. She went to him for leadership and for compassion, and she said she needed help. And then next thing you know, she told me that he took her to the reunion tower. I went to a church one time right here in Dallas, and the pastor wife had died, some mysterious death, cancer. I'm not quite sure what it was. And he had started dating some of the women in his church. And I hadn't been to the church since she passed away. Bishop Thomas, damn. Yeah, I'm naming names. So I go around, everybody go around and say, "Hey, Bishop." He grabs my wrist. He grabs my wrist and pulls me to him and says in my ear, "I haven't seen you in so long. You still fine as fuck." Remember Bishop Thomas at the church I was going to when we first started dating? He says, "It's always been something about you." And I was like, "Oh, shit." He said, "Boy, you better be glad I done changed, because I've been and told you to come on. I've been to fuck you in my car." This is my experiences with bishops and pastors here in Dallas, trying to be part of the ministry. All they wanted to do was fuck me and devour my energy. And they would all say, "I don't know what it is about you. It's something so special about you." I'm just telling my story. I'm just telling my story. And those in my group, my infinite energy, I've talked about this before. I've even talked about some of this before in my other videos. Then the bishop that I'm talking about had women outside the church fighting over him. Like them hoes was tying asses. I don't know if y'all know what tying asses mean, but they mean they were getting their paper. If you don't know what getting their paper is, I mean them bitches was like they was in the church parking lot. Two women that he was fucking around with. Then after he done fucked enough of them, he stood up in this pulpit and said, out of all the women that is in my church, not one of y'all are dateable. Oh God. And they was like, Bishop. And I was like, I'm looking around like, you bitches ain't mad? Y'all ain't mad? This motherfucker, big red motherfucker, bald headed ass nigga that stood up there and said that shit. I don't see any value in spending time at a place that facilitates bullshit like that. There are so many different ways I could be spending my time that would be more beneficial to my growth as a human being. Instead of going to church on a Sunday, putting on a fake mask, acting fake, I can sit down and read a book. I can sit down and have a cup of coffee. I can go to brunch or something, have me a motherfucking cocktail or something. I can meditate. I can go to a sauna. I can watch a documentary. I can read a book. I can have deep, incredible, and deep, inspiring conversations. Typically, these soul care practices leave me feeling way more connected, grounded, and centered, and motivated to love God more and help others along the way in my journey than going to church. And I have a problem too with people loving Christianity, which is the same thing that was taught to you to enslave you. That's another topic, another time. I don't want to waste 3 or 4 hours each Sunday in order to accomplish the same thing that I could have done at home. Boom. In conclusion, hi, darling. If you made it thus far, and I don't believe many hardcore Christians will have. And if you're a Christian, you're probably thinking that I walked away from God, that I don't have a fire for God anymore that burns bright in my soul. Or you're thinking I'm like a backslider. That I'm a backslider and I have let Satan harden my heart from God's calling. I know the language, the Christianese language, very, very well. But it's not like that. It's not like I don't want nothing to do with God or I don't believe in him or her anymore. It's simply that I don't find that church is the place that helps me in any way, form, or fashion. And I don't feel challenged there. More than anything, I feel judged. And that's why I walked away from the church stuff. I didn't walk away from God. Because if I had walked away from God, I would not be in the position that I am in now. I walk with God in God's daily. This is my path. And I chose this path because it chose me. Now, I had to figure out how to walk this path because it's a lonely path if you let it be. But that's why I created my group. That's why I created my channel. That's why I created things, our kits and products and services to better suit people, to get you to be the representation of yourself too. This is why I do my readings, and it's just not about, turning over a whole bunch of cards. It's about digging deep and finding what your passion lie in this path, finding out what your gifts are in this path, finding out what your root issues are in this path, finding out what makes you really tick, finding out how to help you manifest, Finding out what are your blockages that stop you from manifesting and living the life that you're supposed to live. Finding out what is that thing that's inside of you that you need. See, I realized that church didn't represent any of those things for me. For me. Now, if church represent those things for you, then great. My path was a lonely one. Yours doesn't have to be. I'm going to leave y'all with these. I'm going to leave y'all with these. I'm going to leave y'all with these scriptures, because I do read the Bible. I put that in my spell work, in my hoodoo work. I'm a really big believer in Psalms and Proverbs, Deuteronomy, and some more. Songs of Solomon and my love spells. Oh, absolutely. The Bible ain't nothing but a big old spell book. They just don't teach you how to use it like that. You know what I'm saying? There's a passage of a scripture, and it's one of the most popular quoted amongst the Christians, right up there with John 3:16. For God so loved the world, right? The other one is Timothy 1:7. God has not given us the spirit of fear. Well, Timothy said in 1 Timothy 1:7, God has not given us the spirit of fear, which I shall let these preachers put fear in y'all. That the church ain't nothing but a big old thing like that. So the church is already in contradiction with the word. Okay. 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 You get it? See, I can go back and forth with any pastor. Because I done read the Bible too, front and backwards. And I still read it today. Knowledge is key. That's why I tell y'all, read, study, show yourself to be approved for you. Lean not to thy own understanding. You know what that actually means? That means I don't want you to lean to no understanding but the understanding I give you. But you got me fucked up. Little children, you are from God and have overcome them. For he who is in you is greater than he who is in the world. That's John 4:4. What that mean? It's supposed to be a motivational verse for fearless living. That ain't what I got from church. Whether it's dealing with a bad boss or unfaithful friend, a critic, with somebody these verses are supposed to teach you to overcome, but they don't do that. They teach you how to be fear even more so. That's all I got. It's kind of like my conclusion. I might talk about church pain and stuff like that at another time. But, I just be wanting you guys to be encouraged for real. And I be wanting you guys to think. And I be wanting you to be an individual strong thinker for you. That's why I be wanting you guys to study, to learn this. God ain't even all those things that they try to make him to be. God is just God. And he got to have a sense of humor because he made our motherfucking asses. God gotta have a fucking sense of humor because he made us. He made us. He gotta have a fucking sense of humor. Like for real, for real. If you guys are interested in readings, real readings, let's dig some deep readings, book with me. If you guys are looking for love consultations or just conversations with me, book with me. I will help you. I have a passion for what I do. I fucking love what I do. And when you guys are doing well, when you guys are telling me this is where I started, this is where I'm at now, that's called change. And you beat every challenge that was given to you and you're changing. I love that. Yes, I practice witchcraft. I do. All forms. I'm not afraid of the light and I'm not afraid to dance in the dark. But that's my journey and I'm never going to impose it on you. But I do teach about it. And if you are attracted to that and you want to learn more about that, wonderful. If I don't connect with you, you don't feel me in your spirit, that's fine too. I'm never going to play on your guilt, your lack of faith, your self worth. I'm never going to do that. I'm going to teach you how to survive. That's all I got today. I hope you guys enjoyed the part 2 of this video. Please like, comment, share, subscribe, do the bell notification so when I do videos, you guys will see them. You guys will see my lives as well. I thank you. I'm not perfect. I'm not. But I try to be authentic as possible. I love each and every last one of you, even the ones that watch me just so you can go back and have something to talk about. I love you too. Because without your views and you're seeing me and you talking about me, I couldn't be any of this without you too. So thank you, haters and trolls. I thank all of you. You can't miss me with nothing. Simon Bent, I said your name. I hope that made your day. But I love you guys. You can go to my website, www.magicalladyduchess.com, and that's Magickal, Lady Duchess, Duchess. Thank you, Tillwater. You're right. You can also go to my store website, which is mldholistichealing.com. I have a whole holistic store. We are actually moving. I'm excited about that because I got the bigger space with the warehouse. So we're just working out some details and they're knocking down some walls for me because you know I'm extra, I'm a tyrus, so I have to have it extra. But we did get the building. We did get it. So I'm pretty excited about that. That in less than a year, I literally had to move to a bigger spot that has a really nice small warehouse. So I'm excited about that. It's in the same center, it's in the same shopping center. It's just a bigger spot. So I love you guys. Please come check out my store for yourselves and meet me in person. I would love to talk to you all. So you guys go to my website, you guys book appointments and consultations with me. I'm here for you. I'm here for the process of it all. I don't take it lightly that you guys listened to me and spent an hour with me today. I am very appreciative of that. Many blessings to all of you guys from the top of your head to the bottom of your feet. I speak into everything that you guys want to manifest as long as it's going to make you healthy, whole, and healed. Stay clean, guys. Keep your mind clean, your energy clean, open up your chakras, and live your best life. I love you guys. I love you guys very much. All right? So I say to you all. And she said, clean up your house too. Y'all clean your house up. And when you sage, be sure to open up windows and doors because you don't want your demons and your negative energy running circles in your shit with nowhere to really be released out. Okay. All right. I say good afternoon to you all. Bye bye.